This is what blows my mind. You do things like this, but you're on a show. You do things like this, but you're on a public platform. And I'm not talking about NBC.
It happens a lot, apparently, across the whole network.
The narcissism to think that you're going to get away with something
The
like that.
pressure to like maintain this lifestyle, especially on camera, and be in this group.
The glam, the image, the money, the house, the car. Saying it is glitz and it's glam. A couture societal collapse happening right in front of us. Up on the editing floor. You don't know what they're going to twist and manipulate that into. It feels like we know the format and we know that they're going to do that. So how much do you think that they can truly consent to what these shows become? Like, that expectation versus reality to me doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe it's time to get a different formula.
The Real Housewives has given us table flips, champagne tosses, and questionable fashion.
But also lawsuits and enough legal drama to rival a courtroom.
Tonight, we're reopening Bravo's most infamous case files.
The scandals, arrests, and lawsuits that changed reality TV forever.
Welcome to Reality in 5D,
where the tea is overflowing.
and the receipts are admissible in court.
And this time, the delusion is under oath.
Let's spill. Hi, guys. Thanks for listening to Reality in 5D with Matt
and Courtney.
And tonight, we are going to talk about something a little more dark than we normally talk about when we talk housewives.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know. I think we should talk about the scandals, the drama. I mean, the Real Housewives franchise has been littered with several cases now.
Littered. I love it. Polluted. They polluted the airwaves.
I mean...
How filthy.
I mean, think about it. I mean, we can dive right in. We've got Jen Shaw.
Oh, these are the people who've cheapened the group?
Exactly. Exactly.
Jen Shaw, we're starting strong here.
Jen Shaw pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud in a nationwide telemarketing scheme that targeted the elderly. She was sentenced to 6.5 years in federal prison. Now, one thing about Jen that really...
Did she pay that back? Did she have to pay that back?
I'm sure she has to. There's no way. You don't just go to jail and then you're fine. Like, people were scammed.
And the elderly of all people, too.
One thing about Jen is how she tried to maintain her innocence the entire time. And then when she got to her court date after filming, reunion, all the pomp and circumstance of it all, she pled guilty.
Yeah, she took the plea deal and I guess got 6.5 years. What was the other, if she was found guilty, what was the alternative, though?
Good question.
Sometimes I don't feel like justice is truly served. You know what I mean? Like, when they're allowed to take a plea deal, girl, you scammed the elderly. The elderly. Like, you have no moral conscience.
At what point do you think the viewers knew Jen Shaw was lying? You as a viewer, when do you think you as a viewer then knew Jen Shaw was lying?
I knew, well, I'm a Scorpio, so like my little radars get triggered when I see people, like, she kept breaking the fourth wall and looking at the camera, and it
like
just,
guilty?
Yeah, it was like this weird admission of guilt.
I never believed her.
Like, she was trying to control how she was being viewed and filmed and stuff. Like, she was very conscious of that, and I flagged that right away, and that made me feel more like she was guilty of something. So I was not surprised.
Do you think that she would qualify for one of Bravo's biggest villains ever? Because I feel like lately we have been caught up in the Scandival and the West and Amanda relationship scandals, the cheating. But like, when you think of defrauded elderly victims on purpose and pled guilty.
Yeah. And how many times she would brag about how much money she made that day, and then, like, looking back now, I'm like, ooh, that didn't age well.
Right. I mean, she did it, and she knew, and she pled guilty. So would that qualify Jen Shaw to be Bravo's biggest villain ever?
What classifies you as a villain? Why are we so obsessed with like naming villains? It's because we grew up with princesses. If you weren't a princess, you were a villain.
I mean, and every show needs one.
I think she's just a terrible person. I think she was is a desperate person. If you're gonna rob the elderly, like
Mm-hmm.
for what reason? And her husband was like a coach, wasn't he? Like a life coach or a
A
basketball coach.
basketball coach, I
But he
think.
was
Yeah.
also like I thought like a preacher or like something.
No, I think you're thinking of Jamal Potomac.
I don't
Is he a
know.
preacher? I don't know. Should Bravo have fired her immediately, in your opinion, after the indictment? Like before the trial and the guilt, like the whole, what, 2 years she maintained innocence. Do you
That we
think she
followed
should
her.
have been either on pause or fired? Because I do. I didn't want any more to do with her.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. Yeah, because now that I think about it, do you remember her house getting raided? And it was like her son who answered the door. Her
Mm.
children were home and had to go through that. That was terrible. And that was awful to watch. And knowing that that was filmed and all that happening to those poor children, that should never have been.
Agreed. Agreed.
There's limits.
So then why do you think so many viewers were willing to defend her? Because, I mean, there's always that trove of
Who was
people.
defending her?
I mean,
A
not
trove of
me.
people.
Yeah.
Those troves. Darn
I'm
you.
There are people that don't want to believe that their favorite could be capable of that. I knew all along she gave
Their
Heather the black
favorite.
eye. I knew all along
Oh
she
yeah.
did what she did. I could just tell. I could look at her and
The
tell.
same way
She looks
she acted
slimy.
after that, like what happened, and she kept looking at the camera after that too.
Hmm.
She gives herself away. If you watch people, they will tell you everything you need to know about them.
Do you view her differently now that she's been to prison for the crime?
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you think
I
that
kind of view Heather differently too for like how
for
she stood
better
up
or
for her.
worse?
Worse. The fact that she like protected her even after jail and the whole black eye situation, only to then later, like 5 years later, be like, "Oh yeah, it was Jen." Like I've already lost all respect for you. Like you telling everyone you didn't know when you knew.
Agreed. She allowed the story to fizzle out,
Yeah.
and like
And she
now
kind of goes
we
with
don't
public
care.
opinion. She wanted to look like a good friend, so she stood by her. And then she ended up being actually found guilty and going to jail. And she still tried to pull that I'm a good friend kind of deal until enough public opinion turned against her. And then, yep, now she's the bad guy and I have to separate myself because the public says so.
Agreed. I could just tell she was a snake from day one.
Yeah.
When I think of Jen Shaw, before the crime of it all, I just got slimy vibes. The way she flashed the money around didn't feel real
Mm-hmm.
to me. And so then if Jen Shaw returned to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tomorrow, would you watch?
No.
I would be done.
Yeah,
I would be like,
no.
what a slap in the face to everyone that
This,
she, all of the victims. Like, so many people want to cry the victims. This is a real situation where there are real victims, and
yeah.
she admitted to doing
And that
this.
would put her family in such a bad position.
Agreed.
Especially because you know that they've been affected by all this and traumatized. And I don't want to see anyone else spiraling like Mary's son. Like, I don't need to see that. That is
Uh,
so tragic and sad. At some point, we just have to, like, there are limits.
Agreed.
Mental health matters.
Mental health does matter. I feel like it's easy to glorify these people because they're someone you see on a screen, but they're people.
And how triggering was that to a lot of people who've, like, maybe their parents or grandparents were scammed out of, like, their entire savings or
Yeah,
because let's be real, that the boomer generation, they are the most likely to be scammed. Like they're the easiest
it's
ones.
sad.
And that is so sad.
It's sad. Shame on you, Jen Shaw.
Yeah. You pry off the weak and the elderly and the ones that can't defend themselves and didn't know how. You
I was
scam.
low-key disgusted with
You.
people to give her an interview. Like, who gives a fuck? I don't want to
Yeah,
hear
and
it
you know
from
she
Jen
got
Shaw.
paid for
I
that.
know.
Stop
I'm like,
supporting that.
no, I don't want to hear it.
No, I don't either.
Well, let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on. Teresa and Joe Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Giudice.
I know. I feel like I mean, and we watched them all. And in the beginning, it was like Judice, and then it was like, you're wrong. It's Judice. Maybe they were trying to switch it up and switch it around because they were doing all this
Fraud.
shady shit. Yeah.
Speaking of people who flash around an obscene amount of money and then later just to be held responsible and found guilty of fraud. I couldn't stand either one of them either.
No, not at all. Not together, not apart.
Mm-mm.
So the Giudices pled guilty to multiple federal fraud charges, including bankruptcy and wire fraud. Teresa served 11 months in prison. Joe served 41 months and then was subsequently deported to Italy. And I'm pretty sure is not allowed back here. And
Worst case scenario. Wow.
right. And this is another case where they pled guilty. Like they took a plea deal, they did this. They like admitted to doing this. So
And again, do they have to do jail time so that they don't have to pay that back? Is that how that works?
I don't think so. I think they still have to pay it back. Like what is it,
They didn't lose
restitution?
their
Or
house. They didn't lose anything.
yes, she did, didn't she?
No.
Or did she go in to sell it because she does not live there
No,
now?
she like moved right back in after. That's why I was like, what's the deal?
I don't know.
Like, so you can commit all this fraud, go to jail for what, 4, 6 months, and then
Wipe your hands, you're good.
yeah, that time served is like, okay, well,
America.
that's what I'm saying. This is ridiculous. And they're like, the fact that this happens so much on this platform.
So do you think that prison made Teresa more popular in the Bravoverse and in the whole entertainment realm?
Was she the first one to go to jail?
Um,
Was this before
I think
Crenshaw?
she might have been.
I think you're right.
I
That was
also
fake
know
news.
that Bravo put Jersey on hold while she was in prison. So like this wasn't a Jen Shaw in the case of like, oh, we can say we didn't know. We honestly thought she was innocent. She maintained her innocence like Andy Cohen did.
Mm-hmm.
And then she pled guilty in the end, and oh, we're shocked. She's never coming back. Like, how dare her? But they knew, like, Teresa and them pled guilty. They held the show for them.
Yeah.
They gave her several spinoff shows.
I thought Teresa tried to act like she didn't know. She wasn't a part of it. It was all Joe.
She's still to
But
this
was found
day.
guilty.
I mean, you knew. Come
Yeah.
on. Come on,
She
girl.
was flaunting all sorts of money, and it was always cash. Like, come on. What didn't they go like furniture shopping and spend like 300 grand
Yeah, that's like what flagged the
in cash?
IRS was like, hold on.
Yeah.
You did that on national television. What did you think was going to happen?
When people just like forget.
So, do you think the show separated Teresa and Joe?
I guess physically.
oh, dis.
But
Shade.
no, I think they did that themselves.
Agree. I think that, a lot of couples come onto this show and they end up divorcing or breaking up. But I think it's just because it helps spread the cracks that were already there.
Yeah.
I don't
they
think
can
it's
control
new.
how
Yeah.
they look, but it films you until you forget that you are being watched, and as soon as you let your guard down.
And yeah, viewer opinion does kick in because people are like, wow, he's an asshole. Oh, she's crazy. You know what I mean? They do chime in, and if you choose to read the comments, which honestly, in this world, you can't sit and read the comments. What people say about you behind your back is none of your damn business. You know what I mean? But I felt like it was already flawed from the beginning, clearly. And if you watched Jersey from day one, they did have a very explosive, very toxic relationship. So, do you think, and this is going to sting for Bravo and NBC, but do you think that do you think they benefit from documenting her prison story?
Oh, God, yeah. Do you remember all the headlines they got from that?
Yeah.
It was a total marketing, like, cash cow.
Agreed. And I mean, think about how much Teresa's been able to benefit from this, and I'm sure in return Bravo benefits, but she's had book deals.
They paused the show to wait for her.
Right. She's done spinoffs. She's done every season of Jersey. She's done Girls Trip.
I'm kind of disgusted how much they supported that and like made her the main character. Oh, that's why she felt the need. That's why she was so mean to everybody.
And I don't think she's ever fully acknowledged her role in it. She always kind of brushes it off and it's like, next question. You know what I mean? Like it moves on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think then that you could call this like a reality TV comeback story?
Teresa?
Yeah, I mean, like she's gone to jail. She did the crime. She did the time. She's been back on TV for how long now? She's remarried, even though, God, that's a mess.
Yeah, but I'm done with that. I'm not following her anymore. Like, I'm just, what is
Agreed.
she bringing to the table? She's not
Agreed.
doing
Yeah.
anything. In order to like come back, you have to do something better than you did before. You were just existing before, and now you're just existing again.
It's going to be interesting to see how Jersey goes this round because they're back. They're filming. We know that they have been filming the girls' trip,
Yes.
or hopefully one of them. I don't know. I know her and Melissa and Joe allegedly made up. How much of it's real? How much of it's for the show? Time will tell. But they are filming, so what, 6 months probably from now?
Mm-hmm.
We can expect those shows to hit air, and we will see. We will see. But I'm not really impressed with Teresa.
No, I've never been a Teresa fan. I'm more, what's her name? Joe and,
Melissa, yeah,
the
agreed.
Gorgas.
Agreed.
Yeah.
She's fierce. He's fun.
Yes.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Who's next? Who's on the chopping block?
Wendy Osefo from Real
Oh,
Housewives
yes.
of Potomac. Now, this is a recent ordeal that has unfolded, and we kind of saw at the end of Potomac as that was wrapping up. They picked cameras back up to talk about
Oh yeah, they love to pick the
the
cameras
shit
back
that
up.
went down.
This was the truth.
So, Wendy and her husband Eddie are facing 16 fraud related charges, including insurance fraud and conspiracy, following claims that they misrepresented a burglary at their home. This is what blows my mind, is when you do things like this, but you're on a show. You do things like this, but you're on a public platform. And I'm not talking about NBC. I'm not talking about your Potomac in itself. I'm talking, you now have brand deals, endorsements. Every one of these reality TV stars have become social media influencers. They make money off of everything they say and post at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how do you think you're going to come on here? Do these crazy crimes, and I'm talking crazy like claiming someone broke into your house and stole goods that you were then later photographed, filmed, have posted yourself wearing.
It happens a lot, apparently, across the whole network.
The narcissism to think that you're going to get away with something like that.
Well, let's be real. This genre kind of it attracts narcissists. So we see a lot of narcissistic tendencies within some of these ladies and some of the men as well who want to be on the camera. And I feel like that's why you see situations like all those break-ins that were happening with all the housewives, and then you have like Dorit's situation and PK, who was also found like guilty of like fraud or embezzlement, wasn't he?
Was he found guilty?
Remember earlier in like the
I know
earlier?
that there were issues. Yeah, I know there were lawsuits, of course.
That was the first thing that went through my head. I was like, oh yeah, and then he's conveniently out of town. He got better.
And didn't care to come back very quick either. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you're not feeling threatened? It's like you know the threat is off.
So the thing with Wendy and Eddie, it's still going, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm
But
sure
what are the counts? That's 16 is a lot.
I know. Well, I mean, we'd be here all night. We need a part two. But I mean, at this point, it's going to end up on the next whatever. I'm sure franchise Housewife and the Hustler. You know how they did that. Then the Jen Shaw. And now
Did we watch the Jen Shaw?
No, we didn't. I think we were in a moment of like, we already watched enough and I'm disgusted by her. But I watched the Girardi one because, yeah, I love Erica. You know, I'm here for Erica. So I needed to know the tea and the backstory of why people were coming for Erica.
Sure.
And Tom. And so, yeah, we watched that. But the thing with Wendy is it's unfolding right now in real time. So we don't know. There's no conviction. And that being said, how much do you think that the allegation should matter if there is no conviction in terms of still being allowed to be on the platform and still being given a voice to, I mean, to go on these girls' trips, to shop, to make money doing what you're doing on the show. Do you think that since she's not convicted yet, she should still be allowed to do those things?
I mean, you are innocent until proven guilty, I guess. Not my law or words, but that is the thing.
Some white
So,
man somewhere.
yeah, right. So I guess there's nothing that's like prohibiting this. But also after she is found guilty, I don't want any more support like paid interviews. I don't want to know her side of the story. I just want to know the documented facts because that's the only judgment that I care about.
Agreed. So it's honestly, then it's safe to say that Wendy's reputation has been affected with the fans by this. And I'm
I'm
sure
sure.
her
How can it not
career, of
be?
course. Do you feel like this is getting less attention than some of the other housewife scandals that have been thrown out there and exploited? Well, okay, and
Yes.
again, Potomac just ended right at the beginning of this. How lucky for her. And if they're smart, they picked right back up and started filming into this next season if they were going to exploit this, and we know that they will because every one of these cases has been exploited. But why do you think it's getting less attention?
Well, for one, it's Potomac, and let's be real, I feel like Potomac in general gets a little less attention. Like Karen Huger went to jail. Did anyone care? No one cared.
Honestly, no, and last season was a snooze and they were a bunch of
And
bullies.
Wendy thinks she's more important than she really is. So I'm sorry. It's not getting as much attention because it's just not as big as they like to believe.
Yeah. Like the scandal
And we're
or them
over
as
it.
people.
Yeah.
Both.
I'm not
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
not invested enough in them as people to really care enough about it.
So then
When I hear it, I'm like, ugh, another one. Bye.
agreed. And do you think that fans are inconsistent in how they judge legal accusations?
Well, like it also depends on the situation.
Well, you're
Like
not hearing a lot about Wendy and like Erica Jane crucified.
that was a very public and like high profile case though. Whereas like Wendy,
Wendy and Eddie are very D-list, and Tom Girardi
yeah.
was a major
I
attorney.
mean, wasn't she caught wearing the jewelry that she claimed was stolen on her Facebook?
Yeah, or
Is
Instagram or
how
something
many
along those
degrees? Like
lines.
what? No
Book
social
smart, no
awareness.
street smarts. Way
Yeah.
to go. Um,
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
right. Do you think it's her education? Do you think that education and public image create different expectations? So, like, they're giving Wendy grace because she's held at a higher level of esteem in her community, whereas Teresa's just a loud reality star and Erica's just a blonde pop star, Beverly Hills wife. Do you think that
They didn't have anything really to lose where she has more to lose. Like, didn't she lose her job
with the college?
with the college
Hmm.
and something else let her go too? So people have
I would sever
severed
all
ties.
ties at
Yeah.
this point.
So
Agreed.
she did have a lot to lose and has lost from this. So even though it's not as high profile as like some of the other ones, you know, she is suffering from that. And I'm sure her family is too.
Yeah,
Decisions.
agree.
I wonder if they like with some of these, like, because the pressure to like maintain this lifestyle, especially on camera, and to like be in this group, I'm sure pushes them a little bit to like,
Of course, the glam, the image, the money, the house, the car. Look at
yeah,
how many times they've rented cars on these shows. Like PK gave Dorit a rented rose gold Bentley for a gift. Like, here's a gift I borrowed.
yeah,
Imagine just to keep up with this lifestyle, like you're saying, like
yeah.
to
And it's
keep
like
up with.
reoccurring too. You see it happening over and over and over. At some point, I wonder, is this platform like, is Bravo
It's
going to be held accountable?
it's what we love about it
Are we
at the same
pushing?
time because it is glitz and it's glam, but it's also like a couture societal collapse happening right in
Yeah.
front of us.
We're
You know
just
what I
watching
mean?
people
It's a
living outside
metaphor.
of their means and putting their family and their like loved ones, their friends, all in jeopardy because of it. It's kind of it's telling of the times as
It's
well.
very telling of the times. Agreed. So this one we're gonna have to reach way back into the back of the fridge and grab this moldy peach because
Ooh,
you're really going to have to. I
throw it
know.
away.
I know. We're talking Apollo Nida, Phaedra Parks' ex-husband. Now, we all know how we feel about Phaedra on this show. She's a snake in the grass. She's shady fady. Her ex-husband, Apollo Nida, father of her kids, pled guilty to bank fraud, mail fraud, and identity theft, leading to an 8-year federal prison sentence. Now, Phaedra throws the most shade and talks the most shit. And I feel like it's so interesting how things like this kind of get swept under and forgotten. Also, not far from, the accusations that her and Portia made about Candy. That's defamation, slander. They just kind of get forgotten, and then they bring these people back up and they put a big beautiful backlight behind them and glam, and then like we're supposed to forget that all of these things have happened. And Phaedra, I feel like no one acknowledges the backstories, the lies, the things that have built the house of Phaedra.
The doctor telling her baby was full term at 7 months.
While her eyes dart around the room, those beady little eyes, like, no one asked me again.
Yeah, just don't ask questions. Why do you think she's always talking and talking about other people? That's a look over there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
look over here.
And talking and referencing look over there. How much do you think Phaedra knew?
Everything. Do you see how he would look at her too? Like, are you just gonna let me out to dry kind of thing, or leave me out to dry? And she just basically was like, I didn't know any of it. I've never believed a single word she has said. She lost me at the very first time I met her, lying through her teeth and not even like owning up to any of those lies ever.
No, I would go as far to say that she used the scandal and his prison sentence and what she was going through the kids were going through at the time as leverage to push her farther into the limelight, to get her out there more in terms of a career. And obviously, she's probably stepping away because of he got caught. I don't think maybe if he didn't get caught, they'd still be together. I think that she
had him doing her dirty work.
Yeah, I could see that.
He got caught and she was like, well, that's on you.
And she knew she was out, one foot out the door, and she used the story to step up off of. And I feel like that's very Phaedra. I feel like that's who she is. Do you think her legacy would be different without the whole scandal of Apollo? I mean, she built a storyline around lying about a pregnancy. She built the storyline around the jail sentence. And I don't know that a lot of her career would have happened without some of these situations.
I don't know that her career will happen. She can just stay a mortician.
Well, they're trying to make her happen. But girl, I'd rather it was just her talking to the dead, not bothering us on television.
Her talent agent is doing some serious work because she's not.
Yeah. Do you think that his prison sentence ultimately helped or hurt her popularity?
I don't think it could have hurt it any worse than she already did. That was not his fault that people didn't like her.
The slanderous claims against Candy that came straight out of her mouth and the way she handled it was enough.
That's how she handles everything that she lies about.
Agreed.
That's how you know she's lying too.
Okay, this is one that I feel like everyone knew we were going to talk about because we do love her here in the tea room, Miss Erica Jane. Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has faced several fallout scenarios from her ex-husband, powerhouse, disgraced former attorney Tom Girardi.
Don't call him a powerhouse.
Well, I mean, let's be real. He won the Aaron Brockovich case. He's done big things in his career. Now, what he did after, disgusting. I'm not.
He won a case that Aaron Brockovich did all the work for. I am not crediting that man another minute. True. He can rot his little old bones in wherever rehab jail he's at. He's not in an actual jail.
Right, I mean, what is he claiming? Dementia, temporary insanity, all the
he
above.
probably has around the clock caregiver.
So, Girardi's been accused of embezzling millions from his clients, including the families of plane crash victims, Erica was dismissed. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. Erica was dismissed from several subsequent lawsuits, but I feel like she's still been heavily entangled in the scandal. Her career has taken a hit. Her reputation has taken a hit. She's had to deal with a lot from this. And I think it would have been a lot easier for her to push off if this wouldn't have happened.
Agreed. I think that that's kind of what you get when you marry someone, for better or for worse. When you married him knowing that your life was going to get that much better, sometimes karma slaps you up for worse, and you've got to be ready.
I always thought Erica was innocent. I was always team Erica. I think it's very common for women in her position, especially from her generation, to not have any idea about the finances or the money coming or going or the bills, or to even care. And so that being said, do you think someone who is legally innocent can still be morally responsible?
Well, again, that's the when you marry someone, I, I would be responsible. Like, I don't know, when you're married,
I'm not talking about
you're
like
responsible
actually
for, like,
responsible.
that
I'm talking
person's dead,
morally.
or
Do you
like,
think she should feel bad for the victims? She should feel
I mean, I feel bad for the
Of
victims, and
course,
it's not my fault.
but do you think she should feel responsible that they get paid back because Tom did this? You know what I mean?
I feel
Like she's also a victim of sorts if you think about it, because she didn't know. She hasn't been
I think
accused.
victim was a stretch, but I think I don't. I'm not saying she knew or didn't. I don't know that she knows that or not. But I'm saying the people, if you're worried about victims getting their money, you'd be wanting to see the people who were involved held responsible. I'm talking about like the justice, the state boards, all those people who allowed Tom to do what he did or took bribes, like that sheriff. There were a lot of other people
She should be
involved
pulling
with
a
that,
Paris Hilton on Capitol Hill right
and
now.
where
Like,
they all
yeah.
came for her as much to like crucify her and see if she was guilty in that, because she was married to him. You're kind of like guilty by association thing. But like, I would be sitting there pointing the fingers at all the other people who truly were. What about the other partner? Wasn't it like Keys and
Yeah, Girardi Keys and Keys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So where were those sentencing, like, or trials? And she didn't say anything. I think she was afraid of those people, honestly.
So what damaged Erica more, the allegations or her reactions?
Oh God, 100% her reactions.
Agreed. But I think she was scared. And, when you're stressed and you're under a lot, you handle things differently. And when your whole friend group and the people you work with every day are also beating you down, you can tell you're being used as a storyline to push an agenda. That's a lot. I understood her reaction, honestly. And there's a lot she couldn't say. And they knew that, and they knew she couldn't talk about most of it. And they still pried and poked. And when you're not allowed to talk and you've told them that, and they continue to put you in a situation where it makes you look bad that you're not talking,
But
you're
she
going to
was
get
talking,
pissed.
and that's what made her look bad. She wasn't talking about certain things, but she would talk about other things. And what she was saying was more incriminating than anything. That's why I think her lawyers were like, stop, just stop talking.
So you think she could have saved her image with a different strategy?
Could have, yes. But she was swayed too much by her emotions and what she was going through, which, no judgment, you know what I mean? But
I mean, she was,
and I'm glad she was vindicated, because that was the icing on the cake, because it's not about whether people believe you're guilty or not, because there's always going to be someone who thinks one way or the other. It's about that vindication where you don't have to prove it, but it is proven. That was the best vindication for her.
She was crucified, burned at the stake, held to the fire more than he was in this situation, to be honest, and any of the other people involved.
In the public eye,
Of
yes.
course. So do you think this exposes the limits of public sympathy? Because she received none. She's expected to have sympathy and empathy and feel for people when she didn't know.
But I think that's why she received none. She didn't have any. She was very dry, I mean, that's why people were so shocked. Like, oh my God, you're not even like, wow, this is like really bad or like shocking. She was just very like, and the car rolled 3 times and then he had to go to the hospital on his brain. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she was just going, she was telling the story, but there was no emotion to it, which shows a certain kind of trauma, but it also is very shocking. You know what I mean?
I feel like too, like if you watch Erica in the earlier scenes before the trauma of this life event, she did have a very young, like almost like girly kind of demeanor and voice, and
Carefree.
then you get the Eartha Kitt after the scandal of it all. You get the Tom rolled his car 5 times, and the like very monotone and very like, you know what I mean? You get what you were talking
Yes,
about
I love when you do
from
the voice.
her. So I feel like you can see that shift
Yeah.
in her timeline where the trauma hit and it derailed her.
Like, remember when Mary was talking about that situation with the person in the ravine and they're like, did they live? And she's like, no. And it was very just like detached.
Void of all
Yeah.
emotion. Yeah.
And everyone's face was just kind of like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
How are you so
It was
capable of
that
giving that?
same, yeah. So I don't know. I think that she kind of brought a lot of that on herself because that's what she was getting, and she was getting that back. It was like being mirrored back, which she also didn't like at the same point. So I don't know. I'm glad that that has kind of cleared up. Hopefully, she can get her head out of her butt now and get back to being the Erica we love.
I hope so. I'd like some more Pretty Mess, Erica Jane music. I also think, I mean, we could do even a part 2 of all of the scandals that have happened through Housewives, but I feel like to wrap up this episode, we should talk a little bit about the Bethany Frankel of it all.
Okay.
So
The Frankel of it all.
let's say here, like, we're talking like network and producer lawsuits. Bethany is a former cast member of Roni, Real Housewives of New York. She led an industry-wide reality reckoning with Bethany Frankel. Do you remember?
Oh my God, she does everything.
I know.
Girl.
With lawyers.
Right.
She actually went to law school with Kim Kardashian to pass the bar so she could defend herself in this case.
Of course she did.
No, I literally made that up, but it's
No.
believable because that's Bethany fucking Frankel's mentality.
I believed you. I didn't even
I
click
know.
it.
So, Bethany, with lawyers representing a significant number of reality TV stars threatening legal and labor battles against NBC Universal and production companies regarding alleged draconian contracts with exploitation. You've got Leah McSweeney, who filed a lawsuit that Bravo and Andy Cohen intentionally preyed on her known alcohol and mental health issues to boost ratings, to push a storyline. I mean,
okay, I can kind of see that. I mean, I believe it. I believe it.
there's a lot to unpack with that alone. You've got Bethany over here exposing issues within contracts, within networks, and do you think she's actually exposing problems or rewriting history by doing this?
I don't know about rewriting history, but she's exposing a lot of these issues. Let's see what happens because of these. I don't. We see alcohol problems consistent with a lot of these shows, not even just the Housewives, but like look at like Summer House. I'm sure Winter House is the same.
It's
Like,
solely built around drinking.
it's just reality TV shows in general. I feel like they're like, well, how do we get people to like let their guard down and forget that these cameras are around so that they stop performing and they get back to like their normal behavior? And they're like, oh, well, we'll just pump them full of alcohol.
Do you think that reality stars can truly consent to what these shows will become, though?
I don't know.
I feel like a lot ends up on the editing floor. They ultimately are like filming and doing, I mean, months worth of work, and you don't know what they're going to twist and manipulate that into. But I feel like at this point, what, 30, 40, 50 years, my God, into reality TV, obviously, probably not 50 years, but still,
Yeah.
we know the
50 years.
format. It feels like we know the format, and we know that they're going to do that,
Mhm.
So how
We
much do
watch
you
Real
think
World.
exactly? So how much do you think that they can truly consent to what these shows become? Like that expectation versus reality to me doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe it's time to get a different formula.
So you think Bravo's due for a reform?
A reform.
I think so in a lot of
Revolution.
scenarios. I mean, I love Bravo. I love Housewives and our shows that we watch, but I think that they've taken a weird turn. I think that it's time for like a little bit of out with the old and with the new. And I'm not talking like we did with New York. Like that was a mess up. You know what I mean? But I'm talking like a
Revolution.
different host for reunions. I'm talking about
Yeah.
unbiased opinions and the real shit that made the shows
Yes.
to come back.
Like I want almost like a hidden camera type of deal where like the setting, like they
Like a
walk
Big
in.
Brother.
Yes, and like the cameras are rigged so they don't know where they are and they forget that they're there or they don't even know that they're there and they just are interacting for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is no script, and if they are plotting, we're listening about to it. You know.
Right.
Because we know that they try to control the narrative at times and that they will plot different stories.
Right.
I want to hear them conversing about that. I want to see that kind of stuff. I don't want to see them performing for the cameras. I want to see them when they
Right.
don't know a camera is watching them.
Agreed. Like, but would we even have housewives at this point without these production practices? You know what I mean? Because it's been so learned for a lot of, especially like how many new franchises that are jumping right in that didn't have to go through the dirty work of the older franchises that really had to try for views. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they only know one narrative now.
Yeah.
At this point. And that's kind of sad. And especially with things like with Bethany Frankel and this whole movement. Is she trying to help reality stars really, or is she trying to settle scores that she has against Andy Cohen, against Bravo? Because I think that distracts from her agenda. It distracts from reforming or whatever she's claiming she's trying to do because she's petty. She's so petty. Look at her TikTok. Look at how she operates.
She holds grudges.
Right. I do too. I have a Scorpio moon. I understand her. Like
me and her
petty.
have the same birthday.
Petty. So I'm
Thanks.
I'm just
He's like, yeah.
And do you think that at the end of the day that like the production companies, the reality shows themselves, do they have a duty to care?
Duty.
I think that we're so mature here. I think that like they know what they signed up for. Like I say that so many times when we watch a new cast. I'm like, come on, girl. Did you just say that? Did you just do that? Like you knew what you were doing here.
And that's my point. They're they're getting drunk off the alcohol so that they can get them like unfiltered, or the only other thing they could do is like give them storylines and like push them like, hey, go start a fight with this so and so and get her to talk about this. Like that's literally the only thing we're watching now.
I agree. I think they need to like, I mean, and they're trying, but the flashes of scenery and upbeat music that they're throwing in there to try to make it fresh and new when they really could just step back and go back to basics a little bit. Like you were saying, just like get to the core of the shit, the real drama. I love the family drama. I think that's why Rhode Island's doing so well is because there's genuine deep family shit. There's personal shit
I like
between
that, though.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, okay,
It
let's
lets me like
let's
feel like I
unwrap
know
this.
that.
Yeah.
I also want them to stop with the half-ass businesses too. Just because Bravo gets a cut, everyone doesn't need a business. Half of them don't even like make it very far because they don't care about it. They just are doing it because Bravo tells them.
The toaster ovens don't always arrive. Like
I forgot about that.
we love you, Sonia.
Oh, we miss you, Sonia.
Yeah.
And Luann.
Well, I feel like we could go on and on and
We should do a
on.
part
We
2.
probably should do a part 2 because there's more shit that we can talk about. So to be continued. But thanks for listening and talking legal drama with reality in 5D.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. It's me, Matt.
And Courtney.
Bye.